Hi there, welcome back to Just Making It. The weather is finally getting nice. So we're out here, we're gonna hook up everything. We're gonna make some feed for the bulls. We've got the bulls in the barn. We got to get them conditioned up for breeding season. We're gonna let them out June 1st. So we got to beef them up. We got to get them ready because they got a lot of cows to breed. Okay, first off, we got this wagon here. I got corn in it, shelled corn. There's probably, I'm gonna guess, 4 to 5 tons in it. And what we're gonna do first is we're gonna put this in this mixer here. This is my grinder. It's a Gale 170 mix-all. And it will mix roughly, about, I'm gonna say 2 tons. We're just gonna probably mix about maybe 1.5 tons. So you'll see us put this corn in first, and then I'll show you my recipe. Okay, let's start this tractor up. anybody that hasn't seen a mixer grinder, what this does is that you put the feed in, or grain, where you seen we had the auger, goes right in there, goes up that auger into the machine, grinds it up, and it goes in this tank. And in this tank, there's a big auger down the middle, and this is where it actually mixes. And the auger sends it up, brings it down, sends it up, falls down, keeps doing that, mixes it all up. And what grinds the grain going up this auger here is there's hammers, and they're inside there, and they pound the feed, they crack it. So right now we're going to get our additives that we're going to put into our feed, and we're going to put them in the back here. We're going to put them right in there. Anything that's already ground up or like minerals will go in the back, and it gets added to the feed. Okay, I want to get up here on this grinder mixer. I'm going to climb up the ladder, and I'm going to show you inside of what it exactly looks like. So let's go around here. I'm going to climb up this ladder. We're going to take a look inside here, and I'm going to show you what this actually does. See that right there? So it goes up that auger, then it falls back down. It keeps going around and around. Okay, I hope that you can hear me. The machine's running. But I'm going to show you exactly what I'm going to add to this ground corn. So let's get started. Okay, well, first what we're going to put in here is we're going to put some minerals. So I got a bag of minerals. This is all going to get mixed in with that corn that we put in there. That's going right into the tank. Okay, I got the minerals in there. Now I'm going to put dry molasses. This dry molasses, what it's going to do, it's going to add flavor. It's like you eat plain Cheerios, and on the counter they got 5 different flavors. You might want to try a different flavor. So that's what I'm actually doing to the bowls. I'm making it tasty. This is what molasses looks like, dry molasses. I don't like to use liquid because it sticks to the tank and stuff. I like this dry. It mixes in with the feed real good. Okay, next I'm going to add oats. This is what the oats look like. And what the oats does is adds fiber. We're going to mix that right into our mix. The oats doesn't really need ground up or chipped. We're just going to put it in whole and just mix it in with the corn. You could chip it. Okay, the next thing I'm going to add, it's called distillers. And what a distiller is it actually comes from the ethanol plant, and it's actually the leftover corn after they take the ethanol out of it. And it's pretty much used as a filler. We don't really need that in this mix, but I had some around, and it adds a little bit more of a taste, and it's got 24% protein. So we're going to add this. And this is what it looks like right there. Distillers. It's something I really don't need to put in, but I have it sitting around. Okay, the next thing I'm going to put into the mix is soybean meal, and that is 46% protein. That is what's going to get these bulls beefed up. We're going to mix that in here too. And this is it here. Pretty much soybeans, all ground up. 46% protein. Okay, I got the tractor pulled up to the barn. Now we're going to discharge the feed that we mixed and ground all together. We're going to go right inside the barn here, right inside that box. So Lisa's going to hold the auger, and we're going to let it in. Okay, Lise, ready? There's probably going to be some crap coming out of there at first. We're just putting it right in this box. Oh, that smells really good. You can smell the molasses. There you go. All right, I better start shoveling this. All right, well, we got the boxes all filled up, and then we keep these mineral tubs, leftover mineral tubs, and we filled all those up. So we got a lot of feed right here. We got all this filled up. All right, now it's the moment of truth. Let's see how the bulls like their feed. All right, we're gonna give them 2 buckets. There you go. These are the 2 bulls that we're going to run this year with the cows. And you could see, I would say they like that feed. How do you like it there, Inferno? Yummy? Yeah, good boy. I would say he likes it. So does Wilmington. Okay, just a little recap on what I put in this feed. I would say that there's actually 1.5 tons of corn. I put a couple bags of oats. I put a couple bags of distiller. And I put a couple bags of dry molasses. And I put a couple bags of soybean meal. And that's all mixed together and makes this nice, wonderful feed. You can see the texture of this feed. Let me show you here. Right there. I don't have it too fine. They like a little crunch. You can see the corn in it and everything else. So there you have it. We got feed. A couple videos back, I was corn picking and manure spreading, and a chain came off on my corn picker. Well, I want to show you what happened, and I want to show you how I fixed the manure spreader. Okay, this is my corn picker. It's a 2-row. And what happened, see this chain right here? this chain came off, and it didn't snap, but it came off and it ran up these fingers here and it was stuck. So I had to take this off to get the chain back around this. And what I noticed was one of these flaps right here, it was broke on this side, so that's what caused that chain to come off. So I just put the flap together and I welded it. And so it should be fixed now. And here's my manure spreader. It's a 310 H&S. And what I had a problem with was hydraulic leaks. And it's got two hydraulic lines here in the front, and they go all the way back. All the way back, one piece. Well, actually two lines, one piece. All the way back to this one cylinder, which operates that gate right there. So that gate, pretty much, if you have sloppy manure, it holds it in. I don't really need it. I do a lot of dry manure, but I like to keep things the way they were. I didn't want to take this off, and I still want to use it. So what I had to do, I had to buy 3/8 hydraulic line, okay, and I had to run it from that hydraulic cylinder, two lines, all the way up to the front. So people may say, well, why didn't you just splice it? Well, as I took the hose off and I checked it underneath, it was dry and sort of frayed in some areas, and I didn't want to take the chance of it leaking again. So I put two new hoses on, 26 feet, with the fittings on the ends. So it wasn't cheap. I think the 3/8 hydraulic line was like $4.50 a foot. Okay, so I ran them all the way to the front here, and these two lines are brand new. And it goes right to the tractor right here. So it's fixed, no more leaks. We can start spreading more manure. And that's what we'll be doing here in the future. Well, I'm back here in the pasture, and I wanted to show you the new calves that we've been having. And there's about 6 or 7 more yet to come. But I got this field here, and I separate the cows from this field because it is pretty much a freshly new seeded field. And I've got this electric rope here, and I got these temporary posts that you just push in. And these are great for rotational grazing. But I sectioned off this area. This is where the cows like to have their calves. And way back in another video, I mentioned the rock island, and that's it right there. So they like to go in there and have their calves. The cows are way up there, and we're going to work our way towards them. Now, as far as this year, we've been pretty even on bulls and heifers as far as calving goes. I think this year what we're going to do is just keep the bulls as bulls. And I will probably sell them in the fall as feeders. But we are going to keep some females, some heifers. And we're going to replace those heifers with some of the older cows. There's a few older cows here. They're getting up in age, and I would like to replace them. So let's go over here. We're going to walk over here towards the calves, and I'll show you. Now, I wanted to say what I like to do, and this is just what I prefer. I put the cows out in the pasture when they have their calves. I don't like to lock them up. I don't like to pin them up. The only time that I do that is if there's a problem with the calf or the mother. Then I'll put them both in the barn and I'll put them in a stall. But as far as calving goes, I like to have them out in the open, and I feel that it's healthier for them to be outside. Now, I do know and I realize that you have to deal with the weather. You get snow, you get rain, you get wind, you get cold, and they have to put up with that. But if there's an issue, I will send them to the barn. Okay, here we go. Here's some of the babies. We'll walk around here and I'll show you a little bit of them and some of the cows. This is the new addition to the farm. And I've got them numbered. Now I started with the number 100. So that doesn't mean that I have 100 calves. That means that I just started with the number 100. And right now we're up to number 130. So that means we had 30 calves. So you can see here, I'm just going to walk around. How you doing? Yeah, flies are coming out. And there's a little bit of a mix here, as you can see. There's some red cows or red calves. I have red cows, some red cows, but this year, you know, I've had some black cows that had red calves. And I noticed through time what happens is, as they get older, they actually turn black. So, but normally too, like if you got a white-faced cow like that one, usually your calf has a white face. Not always. Usually. So, I get 125. I got to name them. I've got some named, but I got to go through and start naming these guys. So when they get older, maybe they'll respond by their name. Now there is a big one here. It was number 128. I've had a bunch of shorts out on these calves. And if you've seen 128 on the short, it was big. Now this cow here, she's Haven. That's her name. She hasn't had her calf yet. We're still waiting on her. The only reason why she hasn't had her calf yet is that she was later last year. She had her calf, I think, in June. And so the breeding, the time just got knocked off. We'd like to set that timing back, but it's awful hard to once they start and if they get bred later for the next year. But she should have her calf soon. And that's Haven. Some of these cows like to be on camera. Look at that. Look at this little guy. 101. How you doing? And you could sort of tell, you know, by a calf's, the structure of a calf, if it's a bull or a female. You know, the bulls are a little bit more muscular. Not always. There's Royalty. She had her calf. That's a Hereford. So I've got some mixed cows in here. Now there's one cow over here I want to show you. And this is Marshmallow. And you could see her, and she sort of looks like a Holstein. She's got the spots, the markings of like a Holstein cow. And she's not. She's actually Angus and I believe a little bit of Hereford. But look at the spots on her. You'd swear that she was a Holstein. She had a nice calf. Hey, 130. How you doing, buddy? Come here. Are you going to come here? That's a little calf right there. But healthy. As long as they're healthy. And, you know, a lot of people say, well, you need to look at the, you know, the birth, the tree, the family tree of the bull. And you need to find out, you know, what the birth weights are going to be on your calves. Well, I find that true, but it also depends on the cow and what her past was like. You know, I've had some calves that are enormous, and I've had some calves that are small. So, and what I do, and I think you've heard me say this, when I pick a bull out, I look at the bull and I look at how it's structured as far as the breeding bull goes. If it has a big head, a big body or a big snout, then I usually don't buy that bull. A narrow head, narrow snout, and then the calving's a little bit easier. Okay, here's Spunky. She's half Hereford, half Angus, and she's always doing that because she expects me to give her a cob of corn. But look at this. See these red ones? Aren't they beautiful? They're all beautiful, but look at that. Very nice. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, you got a buddy right there. Here's another one over here. Oh, I spooked it. So yeah, they're all doing good. They're all healthy. Pretty soon I'll be letting them on grass here. Probably towards June, maybe June 1st. And at that time, I will also let the bulls out. And they can start breeding. But yeah, there's 6 or 7 cows here, like I said, that haven't had their calves. And it sort of screws the cycle up. When I go to let the bulls out, they might come into heat a little bit later. So that will make them late again next year. Let's go over here. And let's see, they got a little watering hole. I don't have a well way back here, so they can't get water out of a well, but they get water out of this little watering hole. And I built this about 2 years ago with my backhoe. And the big pond way over there feeds this little pond. So there's always fresh water flowing through here. But you can see it's starting to get warm. And you can see the cows are in the middle of the pond there trying to cool off. And what they like to do in the summertime, they like to get in here and get away from the flies if the flies are really bad. Let's see if this little guy's gonna go down. He's thinking about it. How you doing, buddy? Yeah. Let's go over here and let's just see what's going on. Hi. Your mamas are going in the water, taking a bath. Yeah. Now, up top by the barn there, I have a tire water system, and it has a well that goes to it, so that's always fresh water going into there. But yeah, they're all happy. They're free. I do not like to stall them up. And they're all good. That one's a little stuck over there along the bank. I have this rope fence that I showed you earlier. It goes all the way around. But I actually got my other fence over there, and it's not in good shape, so we're going to tear it down. We're going to get rid of these bushes. You can see along the pond there. We're going to get rid of all that. We're going to get rid of this rope later, and we're going to make new fence through here. So there's the big pond too. I'm going to fence this big pond off too, all the way around. And I might have a little section to where they could go into in case there was an emergency with my water system up top. We will have this open, but not completely open. Well, as you can see, the calves are doing well. I'll keep you up to date on the ones coming. Thanks again for watching Just Making It, and we'll see you next time.